Great day, amazing humans. Yes, welcome to Empowering Bites. This is where we keep it short and sweet. But who is the we? Well, the we is me, Nkechi, and
I'm Gaby with 1B. Pleased to be the co-host of these Empowering Bites where we keep it short and sweet.
E to the A to the B to the what? Mammone! That is Gaby 1B Mammone. Let's go, girl. Let the show begin. Great day, amazing humans. Yes, welcome to the next episode of Empowered My Skin, the podcast. And I actually just realized that there are YouTubers and we need to let them know what's going on. Hey, YouTubers!
Hey, YouTubers!
And hey, everyone listening to audio. I am here joined with my brilliant co-host, Gabriella. You see, I didn't do that.
That was okay.
It's beautiful. How you doing, girlfriend?
I'm so great. Thank you so much. We are very excited to share something. So did you want to open up about
Yeah,
Dr.
let's try this out.
Thomas?
Yeah, let's try this out. Yeah, so if you're watching, you're going to see some screens flickering. If you're not watching, then you should be watching. So, okay, here we go. Listen to this.
In a way that nobody else does it. I want you to think about what you do. How can you do what you do in a way that nobody else does it? Find the gap. Don't complain. Don't murmur. Don't talk negative. That's average people talk normal. Average people talk problems. The greats talk solutions. Average people use their time to whine and complain. Average people say it's their boss' fault. It's their mother's fault. It's their average people. I used to be average. I used to say, when is my daddy coming to get me? When is my biological father gonna come in my life? And when I would talk like that, I ended up getting kicked out of school. And while I talk like that, I ended up being homeless. And while I talk like that, I was broke. And then one day I woke up and said, Eric, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to get you. But you can go to the library and get yourself. Ow! I want you to think about what you do. How can you do what you do in a way that nobody else does it?
Find the gap.
Find the gap.
Yes, find the gap. That is the episode that we want to talk about today is
Find the
gap. That piece was fire, man.
Yes. Find what you do in a way that no one else does what you do.
Fine? Oh my gosh, that inspired me. How did I even come across it? I think I literally opened up YouTube. It was on, I sent it to my boss. I sent it to everybody. I remember it was Monday because I was going back to work after being off for a while. And I said to my boss, I'm like, this is how I'm coming back to the office.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, so, great solutions.
So for those that aren't aware, that was Dr. Eric Thomas. He is a hip-hop preacher and a global phenomenon.
Oh my gosh, best motivational speaker on the planet.
Yeah, he's man. Amazing. And he's got this like common sense approach. Mm-hmm. And we were so inspired by hearing this short excerpt.
Yeah, he does. So, he talks about greatness a lot. And it's fun. And for those of you, last week episode was a solo episode that I did. And I was telling Gaby, isn't that funny? Like, I know the algorithms, right? I part of that episode, I spoke about Eric Thomas and how he started to help me just rethink about how I was showing up in life. And now you can see why, like he just, like it's just, oh my God, it just motivates you to, anyway, the whole thing about why that resonated with me and why I really started to sharing it with others. Because oftentimes, as a leader, you're talking to people on your team and they're always like, they say I don't fit in or they're just trying to conform. And I'm like, nah, man, not one of us, not any human on this planet was built or designed to conform. I'm sorry. Right. I don't agree with that. I think we were all uniquely designed with gifts that only, like he says, there's something that only you can do the way that you can do it. I often say in my talks, I can't run my race with your equipment.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I can't run my race with your talent. I have to run my race with my gifts, my abilities, I don't even want to call them strengths anymore, but my characteristics, my attributes, I'm eating my hair. If I wasn't on YouTube, I probably would just, do it quietly, but because people can see and we can't edit the video. But anyway, so how did it resonate for you?
For me, I think when you take a look at where you currently are and what your aspirations are, what's that gap? And how do you get there? But it's from a concept of, just being human about it. Like, why be average? Why do it the way that the others are doing it? It's closing that gap. And I love it.
I love it. And I think here's the thing that I love about it as well is that, if you so for example, as I start to hone and cultivate my style of speaking, there are humans like Dr. Eric Thomas. There are Barack Obama. Bill Clinton was somebody that I used to watch, or listen to, how certain ways that people framed stories or framed concepts and this and the other. And even though it's oh yeah, I like that, it just was what do I like from here? 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 Plus, how would I deliver it from just my natural, just on who I am, my own swag, my own gifting, my own this, that, and the other. And then the thoughts, obviously the experiences are mine, I think that's it. And then eventually you figure out your space in the speaking world. And guess what? If you then attach a message to it that you're really willing to devote your life to believing or solving for, sort of aligning yourself to, then I think you will find a gap. You'll find a gap. You'll find a space where nobody can do what you can do the way that you can do it. It's just that I think we've actually had an episode like that.
I think similar.
I think so.
As you've been speaking, what I heard that you said indirectly was you weren't dwelling. You're not dwelling when you use that speaking example on that gap. You were looking at the fulfillment side. You were looking at the achievement side. You were engaging in the journey as opposed to dwelling on what was missing, but rather focusing on the positive.
Oh yeah, you're even talking about just gaps. There is no gap in it. There's no gap. Humans, you don't have a gap in your life. You don't have a gap in your life. You are where you are in life, and there isn't a gap. There might be a desire, there might be a willingness, there might be a will, there might be something, a goal that you want to achieve and strive for.
Yes.
But I actually, sorry, if you as you're taking it to that, sort of that sense of a gap, I think we have this amazing, unique opportunity as human beings to think about how we think about things.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. And one of the things also from Dr. Eric Thomas was, when you focus on even just how you wake up and the words that you're using. Today is going to be a crappy day because I took my coffee and da-da-da-da.
But guess what? Happen. That's what's I hate to say it, but not that anyone that listens to this podcast is average. So we're not talking about any of our listeners.
Right.
But but that's what he's saying. The average people talk negative. The average people talk problems.
Blame.
The greats talk solutions.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Why blame external circumstances, right? The weather is not to blame. The kids are not to blame. No. Why are we complaining? Right.
We've actually had an episode on that as well, right?
Yes, I think we do.
What was it? Is the moment in front of you is not bothering you? You're bothering yourself about the moment in front of you.
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, and that's why I like that I went from good to great, language, even this morning, the day of this recording, I was at the gym and I just a fellow, I think that's an area where I found the gap. I have for over at least 10 years now been saying great morning, great day, all the greatest in my emails, in my language, and this and the other. Nobody's really saying it. And yet that, to this day, what happened to me this morning happens often during the week. It's he said, good morning. I said, great day. And he says, I love the way you say that. I said, yeah, nice. And then it got into, I've been saying that for, 10 years now. And then he says, yeah, and then he says, good is very sub-performal, right? Sub-performance, right? It's very average, and why be average when you could be great,
Yeah.
So,
and I love that.
Yeah.
There's
So
someone
I
on
said,
our team.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about Trisha for a moment. Shout out to Trisha, the executive producer.
Yeah.
That her title, executive producer.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've known you, sometimes I hear her say "great day,"
yes.
and it's like from being in your energy, you're able to create that ripple effect of those around you. Yeah. But that's so key. That's so key because that takes us from average to great.
To great. Right? Yeah.
Just being in your energy.
Yeah. And I think like if I think about you as well, and you talk often about your story with MS, and you could have been like many that have MS and sort of have become the condition.
Yep.
But you actually decided to live a life of, finding that space in the area of kindness and your kindness project and how can you bring kindness to the world. And you have found a way to bring longevity to your situation in a way that's very inspiring and very motivating. Like you found a gap with all the tools and everything that you have. Like it's never about the situation. It's always about your decision that you have to rise above whatever it is that you've been given. And nobody can do what you do the way you do it. I mean, I see you when you come on stage and, you're talking about your situation and your condition, nobody does it like that. I haven't to this day, I have not seen somebody else that I know that has MS hold a stage like that, like you do. So you definitely are thriving in this gap that you have found for yourself. And that's what this is all about. It's everybody can do it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate and I received those words. It's funny when you talk about kindness. Is it appropriate if I show you my socks?
Of course.
I have socks that say kind on them today.
So to all the users, she just brought her foot up into the screen. The socks are pink with a white toe and black lettering that says kind. You're very flexible too.
You talk about, right? So.
You're very flexible.
Yeah, who knew I could lift like that? That's impressive. Got that on video.
So we're gonna do something. We are actually gonna share that very inspirational clip from Dr. Eric Thomas in the show notes. What I'm gonna really challenge everybody, because and I said it last week, game shameless plug, check out my solo episode last week. Is that in a world of 8 billion people, there's enough space, like you have space to be a badass, right? There's enough badassery space to go around. And yet so many of us aren't finding it. And we're spending time either looking at all of the areas where we're lacking. You're looking at our gap areas, if we want to use it that way, comparing ourselves to others, conforming, thinking that we need to be a certain way in order to be liked or to be accepted or to be considered or to be seen. Mm-hmm. And if nobody tells you, Gaby and I are telling you that we actually see you.
Yes,
we see you. We see your awesomeness, and there's enough space for you to actually make that decision to be you all the way through.
Agreed. And fill your life with growth and adventure and personal satisfaction.
Yeah. Do we have a quote? Did we have a quote coming out of this episode? I'll tell you why, because I'm the producer of the episode as well. And sometimes I'm like, the social media team needs a quote.
Yeah. So let's come up with one.
Don't conform, find the gap. No. I'm sure we had we've got
something in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So Gaby, this was great. I listened to that. I can tell you, I listened to that clip like 100 times. And even as we played it on this episode, I was just like I realized I'm mouthing it because I know it, but it's just even the delivery. Like it's just like, okay, Dr. Thomas, I got it. I'm out. I'm going to go find the gap, So hopefully y'all feel that way coming out of this episode. Find your gap, play in your space, run your race. Only you can do what you can do the way that you do it, like nobody else can do it. I don't know if that made sense, but only you can do what you can.
That was the quote.
The way you can do it. Okay, there you go. And we're out. I'm Ink and
I'm Gaby with 1B.
And this is where we say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.